Welcome to the Zombie Circus with Grimgrin. As far as our opening hand goes, yeah, we'll keep on this one. I like it. We've got some lands. We have a Tribal Lord and Death Baron, and we've got the card draw source in Phyrexian Arena. But yes, welcome to the Zombie Circus. I hope you're excited for some deep-fried zombies today. Or actually, if it's the Zombie Circus, actually, we'll break that down here in just a second. So let's go and lead off with Prismatic Vista. Let's go and crack Prismatic Vista, grab ourselves a swamp, have that come into play tap. We'll just go and tap that down so our opponent can do whatever they want to do, and then pass the turn over to our opponent. But yes, technically, if this is the Zombie Circus, I mean, I guess we could have Deep Fried Zombie, but I would assume that if there's a Zombie Circus, they wouldn't be serving themselves. They would be serving like humans, maybe? I don't know. You let me know what you think. I don't know, either way. But anyway, we got a circus for today. Let's go and lead off with the Scalding Tarn. Let's get that down, and then anything else, pass the turn over to our opponent. We're playing Grimgrin, Corpseborn, the official head circus master. It's like my brain thought there was a word for the head circus master, but I couldn't remember. Like ringmaster, that's what it is. Ringmaster for today. Grimgrin enters the battlefield tapped and does not untap during your untap step. Then sacrifice another. Do we want to soul? Yeah, I guess that's okay. We could soul go for delay on that one, but maybe we can catch this one. Compost. Do we want to? Yeah, I think we might end up delaying on that one. So let's go and crack Scalding Tarn. And I don't really. Does it really matter if we end up doing that right now? They'll get some extra card advantage right now, but you know, maybe we're looking at an extra zombie. I think actually we're going to be okay on that one. So let's grab Contaminated Aquifer, because by the time we start getting cards into the graveyard, Compost will probably come off of delay, and so we'll just go and let that kind of chill for right now. So let that one resolve. We are playing Grimgrin, Corpseborn. Enters the battlefield tap, doesn't untap during the untap step, then sacrifice another creature, untap Grimgrin, and put a +1 counter on it. Then, whenever Grimgrin attacks, destroy target creature defending player controls, put a +1 counter on Grimgrin. We're playing against Baby Captain Sisay, which we will cover in just a second. Well, yeah, let's go and go for it. Let's get down Sunken Ruins. And let's go for, get some Phyrexian Arena down, get the card draw going, and then anything else, pass it to our opponent. Playing against Baby Captain Sisay. Tap, search your library for a Baby Legendary card, reveal that card, put that Baby card into your hand, then shuffle your library. Let's go ahead and make Captain Sisay normal size. There we go. And we did cover both commanders. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If you go to bit.ly/JoltMTG, that will apply my affiliate link. That'll allow you to get some cards and help support the channel at the same time. So if you do use that link, much obliged. I certainly appreciate that. Let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders. If you want to play Magic Online, and especially Commander, they've got you covered. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to directly support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below. But if you're keeping score at home on the Ferris wheel as the speed keeps increasing, hey, it is officially free time. Let's have some fun. Alright, so we do have Hero's Downfall, which will get rid of Gideon, which actually I'm kind of okay with that. So let's go and drop in Watery Grave. Yeah, I think at this point, so we get rid of Gideon. Don't really want that 5/5 coming down every single turn. And then we've got Go for the Throat on Captain Sisay if they end up doing that. So let's do a little bit of setting up. Let's go Hero's Downfall on Gideon. Let me make sure until end of turn. Alright, yeah, so we're not just like burning a removal spell. So let's go ahead and go Hero's Downfall on Gideon. And then they do get a card draw from that, which is a bummer. But that does happen. So let's go and lead off with the Watery Grave. Have that come into play tapped. Not going to pay 2 on that one. And then anything else, pass the turn over to our opponent. But yes, with Grimgrin, the Zombie Circus. This is... It used to be Voltron. I used to play Grimgrin a lot. Grimgrin was probably the... Because I started recording during Innistrad, or at least when this set came out. And we got another one. We've got a Johnny coming down. All right, partner. I used to do Voltron Grimgrin, which was fun. But this year, I kind of switched it up to make it a little bit more zombie tribal. I thought that would be a little bit more... I don't know. There's just a lot of times where you try to get down Grimgrin and find one of the graveyard recursion sources. And it's just kind of hard sometimes to make the Voltron and the recursion happen at the same time. Oh, no, 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 don't yield through the turn. Don't yield through the turn. All right, there we go. That was a safe one. Okay. Almost yielded through the turn. That would have not been good. Okay, so we do want to get a board wipe at some point. I guess at this point, So we're getting close to Field of the Dead being active for Grimgrin, which I'm like totally fine with that. So let's go and drop in Takinuma. We'll play that one. Yeah, and I guess we'll just go and get down Grimgrin. I mean, that does cut us off a delay option. But I do kind of, yeah, I like getting down Grimgrin. Let's go for it. So let's tap down, make sure we tap down for black, get the swamp down, get down Grimgrin, and then anything else, we will pass the turn over to our opponent. But yeah, it used to be Voltron. We've had a lot of good stuff in there, but I do like the added bonus of having a lot more zombies in here. You know, we don't necessarily have to go Voltron with Grimgrin. We can get down stuff like Death Baron and get down a couple other zombie tribal lords and, you know, give like Grimgrin Death Touch and different things like that. So that kind of helps us push our game plan. And then also, you know, our commander does cost 5 mana. So if Grimgrin does get sent back to this command zone a couple times, we're not all in on this Voltron package. And my goodness, we're playing against Sisay Super Friends, and this is not a deck that is well positioned against Super Friends. I mean, if we get enough zombies out there, we can do something about it. But we shall see. We'll see what we can do about it. And they're going to be swinging in for 5. I guess our kind of our only out right now is to get down Field of the Dead. And then once we get down Bloodstained Mire, because that's going to be, if we have 7 or more lands, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then Bloodstained Mire should get that active. So hopefully we get some zombies going. That'll be pretty good. So we do have an extra draw for the turn. Let's see what we rip into. So it's going to be Phyrexian Arena, draw a card, and we lose 1 life. We do have some protection for Grimgrin and Undying Evil, but unfortunately we're playing against, you know, green-white, so there's really not a lot of spot removal on Grimgrin in those colors. Let's go and drop in Field of the Dead, and let's go for Death Baron. That's going to be black, tap down black, and tap down 1 more black. So that's going to be Death Baron. That's going to be a 2/2 with Death Touch, and then we just pass the turn right now. They're tapped out. We do have Go for the Throat, which is going to keep us open on destroying a creature if we need to. If we want to get rid of that, if we want to get rid of a Johnny's Pridemate, we can certainly do that. And then next turn, we've got 2 fetch lands. So we're looking at Bloodstained Mire, Crack, Zombie, Land, Enter the Battlefield, Extra Zombie. So we're really going to start to get those zombies. And if we can get them, my goodness. It's just like, I know you're playing, like, I know we're playing against Super Friends, but it's just like, when it's Super Friends after Super, like, just Walker after Walker after Walker, you're like, my goodness, okay. We'll see what we can do about this. We do need to get, let's get Captain Sisay down. And let's take a quick look at where we're at ultimate-wise. Alright, so if you have 15 life or more than your starting life total, exile a Johnny and each artifact and creature your opponents control. And they're going to go for Phyrexian Arena on that delay. Okay. So that's going to be Elspeth, -5, destroy all except for that. So we are looking at close for an ultimate. And then the -3, you gain 3 life. So not really looking at a huge ultimate from them just yet. So we'll see how they decide to swing in. The only thing is we are looking at the Elspeth being the -5 on that one. So that will be a little bit of a bummer. So let's see how they decide to swing in. The soldier tokens, thankfully, we can start to keep at bay. But once they do untap with 5 of the soldier tokens, then that's going to be pretty hard for us to deal with. All right, so they're going to send in the entire crew. Do we want to go for a Go for the Throat? That's going to be 3 coming across, and that's going to be an extra card draw for them. Yeah, I guess we'll just go ahead and stop 5. Why not? Let's go for it. Let's go for Johnny's Pridemate. That way we can stop that extra life gain. And then they do get a card draw from Compost. Let's go to the block step. Let's block on one of these tokens because we do have a 2/2. There we go. And that'll really kind of whittle away. And if we can untap with Grimgrin, then we'll definitely be in a really good spot. So, okay, so we'll see what we untap. Unfortunately, we lost Phyrexian Arena, so we're only on 1 card draw right now. And we run into Arcane Signet. So, let's go and drop in Misty. And that's going to be Misty, okay. So we're going to get an extra zombie on the battlefield. And I've got some Halloween 3 soundtrack music going right now. And so let's go ahead and sacrifice the zombie token so we get Grimgrin to untap. And yeah, this music's lining up very, very well with what we're trying to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and swing in Grimgrin Corpseborn at... So we're 40... Yeah, so they're actually... Yeah, I guess we're just going to swing in at a Johnny. Exile each artifact and creature your opponents control. I mean, if they want to go for the 0, they can. So let's go ahead and swing in at... yeah, I think we swing... does it really matter? Or do we just want to start going for commander damage? I mean, either way, we're going to see a soldier token block. Yeah, I guess we just swing in at a Johnny Strength of the Pride. Yeah, let's go for that. So we're going to get the attack step. Let's go and destroy one of the human soldier tokens. There we go. Being able to pop that soldier token in the face. And then we still have an open Misty that we can get a extra zombie onto the battlefield. So they're going to be blocking with the human soldier token. There we go. And then anything else, we'll go ahead and drop in Arcane Signet. And that still keeps us open on Undying Evil and Delay. So there we go. All right, anything else? We're going to go and pass the turn over to our opponent. So we've got an extra zombie that we can drop in. Our opponent probably knows that we can drop in a zombie, but if they do decide to swing in with a Knight Ally token or a Soldier token, we can at least crack Misty and get an extra zombie on the battlefield. Probably going to see another Planeswalker from our opponent. We've seen one almost every... Yep, there we go, getting in the trials. Okay. On that one, just to give us some extra time, let's go and go for a delay on this one. Because with Gideon, yeah, if they've got the Gideon emblem, that's something that's going to be really rough for us to deal with. So I like kind of messing with that right now. So let's go and hold that back. And the other option that we do have is that once we crack Misty, and we get that zombie on the battlefield, we can be an extra blocker. And that's going to be Mangara. Okay, and that's just simply just lifelink. We can just pop Mangara. Whenever opponent casts their second spell each turn, draw a card. So that'll give them an extra card draw if we end up going for that. So, but yeah, basically we can untap Grimgrin once we get that extra zombie on the battlefield. If they do decide to swing in with that Knight Ally token. And my goodness, look at all those. Look at all those creatures. All right, they're up to 74. I guess really kind of the only way out of this is if we end up running into some sort of, maybe a board wipe, I don't know, we'll see. Alright, so let's go ahead and crack Misty. And that's going to be an extra zombie on the battlefield. So let's go and probably drop in Ice Tunnel, that way it comes into play tapped. And we'll get that extra zombie on the battlefield. Let's go ahead and sacrifice the zombie token, that way we can untap Grimgrin. And we could smush that Knight Ally token, there we go. The mechanical aspect of tapping and untapping Grimgrin is something that is so satisfying. I just love it. Like, just smushing a creature and then becoming untapped. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it greatly. So, and our opponent is completely tapped out and they've gone for all of their activations. Alright, so let's see what else we run into for the turn. And that is going to be another swamp. So let's go and drop in Bloodstained Mire. That's going to be another zombie on the battlefield. Yeah, there's nothing really much else that we can do. They're going to be able to block for days. Even if we swing it into our opponent, we don't have trample or anything like that. So, I guess we just pass the turn right now. I'm not super wild about that. I'd like to threaten a Planeswalker, but when you've got 1/1 human soldier tokens all day, I'd rather just leave up Grimgrin and not have to sacrifice a zombie to untap it. Because, yeah, I mean, they've got a ton of, they got a ton of creatures out there. And we'll see what we can do. I guess one of the outs that we do have is potentially, and this is a long shot, maybe going for a board wipe, Undying Evil on Grimgrin. That way it stays on the battlefield. I don't know. We'll see. And actually, excuse me, with Undying Evil, if I had no +1 counters on it, and actually, that Undying Evil may not work on. I need to update Undying Evil to the one of the more recent 1 black mana regenerate spells, or at least the. All right, so this could be Vorinclex, and we may have reached our limit on Super Friends when Vorinclex gets out there because. All right, up to 2 creatures get +2/+1 until end of turn. So it's going to be 8/7, 3/2, and they do have haste. So let's see what else that is. But, okay, they're going to gain 1 life. Yeah, because with the life gain, we're pretty much out of the running with the life gain right now. The only way is that if we could somehow... Yeah, they go to 91 on this one. Yeah, if we draw into like a Rogue's Passage or something like that, that way we have an unblockable Grimgrin. But right now... it is not looking so hot. All right, so we got probably the soldier token blocking. We've got the whole crew swinging in. And that is going to be, let's just block on the 3/2. If they want to get in for 5, they certainly can. Block on the soldier token, block on the soldier token. There we go. And it is nice to see Vorinclex come down. and still have Grimgrin be like, hold back, Warnclex. You better stay back over there right now, partner. All right, so let's go and crack Bloodstained Mire. That way we can get an extra zombie on the battlefield. Let's grab Fetid Pools. That way it comes to play tapped. That'll be one more extra zombie. And then see what we rip into for the turn. Another land for the turn. All right, so we've got Planeswalkers that can ultimate. We've got life gain. We're going to be seeing more. Yeah, with Vorinclex out there, they're just going to get double the counters, and they're going to be able to keep those. So they create. Yeah, I guess we still keep rolling. I mean, let's go and drop in Command Tower, because what we can do is we can get the zombie down with Grimgrin. Yeah, I guess we can chip away at some zombies. So let's do that. So let's go and push in. So let's go and push in with Grimgrin. And let's go ahead and attack a Johnny Strength the Pride, I think. I like that. We'll go ahead and swing in Zombie Token at a Johnny Strength of the Pride. Zombie Token at Elspeth. And Death Baron at Elspeth. Alright, there we go. Alright, so we got a crew swinging in. Let's see how they decide to go for this. That is going to be Grimgrin. We're going to blow up Vorinclex. That way we try to make this not as easy for them. So, with the Mangara, yeah, they get to cash in a card draw with Mangara. So, okay, so maybe it's not over just yet. Alright, so we're going to go Grimgrin on Vorinclex. That takes care of Vorinclex. We've got the 10-10 swinging in at a Johnny. We've got Death Baron that is sitting at a 2-2. I'm not super wild about going for Undying Evil, but I do like having this Death Touch. Okay, so let's go Undying Evil on Death Baron. So that way we can keep that Death Touch on the battlefield. So we're going to make sure that goes Undying Evil. That does give them some card advantage. I'm not super wild about that, but we're just kind of in a weird spot right now. And so, there we go. Alright, because I want to maintain the Death Touch for everybody else. So anything else, we've already made the land drop. Let's go and pass the turn over to our opponent. So, we do have a zombie token that we can sacrifice to untap with if they do decide to swing in. We still have a couple more lands that we can drop in, and that'll be a nice Field of Dead for us. And so we'll see what else we can assemble. One of the things that we would love to top deck is Empty the Laboratory. I don't know how much that would help us win, but I did add it to the deck. Let's see that. Defense of the Heart. Okay. At the beginning of... and that's the beginning of upkeep. So with Empty the Library, it's a 2 blue and an X, and it's a sorcery. So sacrifice X creatures. And there's another Elspeth. Okay. Sacrifice X zombies, then reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a number of zombie cards equal to the number of zombies sacrificed this way. So, like I said, it's not going to win us the game, but, you know, being able to run into Empty the Laboratory, that'd be a lot of fun to get that moving. Alright, my goodness, there is there's too many Elspeths over there. Alright, so they got the crew swinging in. They're at 103 right now. They can simply just drop in, what is that, Aetherflux Reservoir. They can just drop in a cool Aetherflux Reservoir and pop everybody for 2 activations and still be alright. Alright, so our opponent decides not to swing in. And do we want to... we don't have to crack a zombie just yet. So let's just pass the turn because we can crack that tap zombie. Empty the laboratory. There we go. I'll take it. Alright, so let's have some fun because it looks like our opponent's going to go for it. But yeah, we just talked it up. Look at that. Alright, so let's get the zombie down. And we're going to get an extra zombie on the battlefield. The question is, do we sack the entire crew or do we leave Grimgrin up? So we're looking at sacrificing 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5 different zombies that we can sacrifice. So we can swing in with Grimgrin, but I think we just end up going for Empty the Laboratory. So let's go and do that. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And tap down Field of the Dead. So let's go for Empty the Laboratory for 5. So let's go Empty the Laboratory, X equals 5. So we're going to sacrifice 5 different zombies and just kind of see what we run into. Because even if we untap with Grimgrin, I just don't think that's going to work out. So, sacrifice 5. Let's see what we get into. Oh, look at that. I'm digging this. Okay, so let's get the... always yield to that compost trigger. Let's get the Gray Merchant trigger moving. Not the best thing out there, but we can at least still get some extra stuff moving. So let's go ahead and... do we want to sacrifice a zombie? I think we just pass the turn right now, then try to get in next turn. I think that kind of works out, so let's do that. So, alright, so we passed the turn. We did end up getting into Empty the Laboratory. So like I mentioned, you know, this is not going to win us the game, but being able to cash in a bunch of Field of the Dead zombies for some really cool extra zombies out there, hey, I'll certainly take it. And then actually, excuse me, we could have sacrificed the zombie token, Gravecrawler, and untap with Grimgrin. So at least we'll kind of keep that in mind for this turn if we want to block on somebody. But yeah, unfortunately, we'll see what else we can get going. With that Gideon coming down and them having so many super friends out there, it is going to be hard for us to deal with stuff right now. So I think we're good. All right, so it's going to be Blind Obedience, which will have stuff come into play tapped. We'll see what we can rip into for next turn. All right, they're going to go for the Ajani Exile. There we go. We'll turn Grimgrin back to the command zone. They're going to be able to swing in. Good game to our opponent on this one. We'll see what we can do about this one. But when you just have so many super friends out there, it's hard to do anything about that. So that's going to be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Not sure if that's going to be exactly just enough, but that'll get our life total down pretty low. So that's going to put us down to 2. And let's see what we run into for the turn. If not, then that may be it for the zombie circus. But hey, we got to go for empty the laboratory. We get to call it off the top of the library, so I'll take that. All right, so we run into preordain. Let's see what we got with this. It's going to be Scry and Scurry for 2. Put that on the bottom. Yeah, we get to draw into Damnation, so we'll click, put that on top. And we draw into Damnation. Let's go and get that down. Let's go for Damnation. That'll, oh, we should have sequenced that a little bit differently. So let's go for Damnation. It's going to be 1, 2... Tap down for blue. There we go. That's going to be an extra card draw for them. We're going to go for Damnation. That'll hit the reset button. They get a card draw from Compose. It's still not looking so hot because they've got the Elspeth Ultimate out there. They've got the -8 that they can go for. And then we're just looking at a Gideon Planeswalker. So they're still going to have to go for the soldier tokens. So we'll see what else. If they get another token-producing Planeswalker out there, then we might kind of be in trouble. But, I mean, if we can get down a Johnny and kind of stable. They don't really have, like, you know, if they had the 6-mana Elspeth out there, that would be something that we'd be kind of worried about. Oh, but they do have, if they've got the mana for Extort off of a Johnny, that is something that they can go for. But we'll see. Let's see what we draw into for next turn. And they go for a card draw off of Horizon Canopy. They're going to get a Gideon onto the battlefield, and they do pay for the Extort. So they could have had the Extort the last go around, but that does drop us down to 1. And let's see what else they've got on this one. But yeah, I think that's good. Oh yeah, and then they've got Gideon swinging across for a full force. So good game to our opponent on this one. We got to get some fun stuff moving. I know this is not the best showing of Grimgrin out there, but you can see what we're trying to do with Grimgrin. Get a bunch of +1 counters on there. Have a threat that can pop some creatures out there. Yeah, the only downside is Grimgrin is just not set up for a Super Friends deck right there. But we got to go for a really nice Empty the Laboratory, so I'll take that. So good game to our opponent on this one. Happy Halloween. If you enjoyed your time at the Grimgrin Zombie Circus, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks, bye.